Okay. All right. It is fourth week Friday, and it's already February 1. So that's exciting. And we will have a midterm next week. Okay, so 1 week from today, fifth week Friday, we'll have a midterm exam here in class, and so you can expect sometime this weekend I'll post a practice exam. I normally don't post practice exams for my classes, but this is the one class I do. 102A midterm. That's the only exam that I'll put practice ones up for. Okay, the other ones I just usually describe what you can expect on the test. Of course, the practice exam is going to be different from the actual exam, but the idea and the format will be similar. There will be a bunch of code. I'll present some code chunks, and you will tell me what R will output when this code chunk is run. Okay, and so and then if you want to, so you'll see code, and then you'll tell me what R will output. If you want to know what R will output, it's very easy. All you have to do is you just take the code and you type it into R, and you hit enter. Okay, and what R outputs, that will be the answer. You don't have to. I'm not going to post a solution key or something like that. Okay, you just type in the code, see what R outputs. But you'll get an idea for the kinds of questions and things like that. But of course, actual tests will be different. The exam will cover everything up through fifth week Monday's lecture. Okay, so on Monday we're going to cover this topic, regular expressions. It's important for handling text, and so on the midterm exam, on the practice midterm, there will be some questions on regular expressions. If you don't know how to do that, that's okay. We will cover it on Monday. Okay, so the exam will cover up through fifth week Monday, and but you should be able to do like 90-something% of the practice exam. Okay, are there any questions on that? Okay, so that'll be posted probably sometime tomorrow, okay? Maybe tonight if I'm ambitious, but you can expect something like that. Okay, today we will talk about getting data into R, and specifically we'll look at this package called RVest, and we'll look at scraping the web with RVest, okay? I think most of you guys are familiar with the basic functions for importing data. This should have been covered in Stats 20. And so you have things like read.csv, okay? And you can also, within RStudio, there's this button that says Import Dataset, okay? And you can use Import Dataset. And you have the option to use base R, which will do basically read.csv or read.table or things like that, okay? There's also some really good packages, okay? One of them is readr, okay? readr, and you can use this button for import dataset to get data in using readr, but you can also call it yourself, and it will be read_CSV, okay? Read_CSV, read CSV here is a lot faster than read.csv, okay? The difference is you got to load the library. So if you've got a small Excel file, or not Excel file, small CSV file, read.csv is probably fine. But if your file probably contains more than just rough guide 10,000 lines, I would strongly recommend switching over to read_CSV with package reader. Okay, so if you got a big data file over 10,000 lines or something, maybe reader is going to be better. Okay, you got other packages: Read Excel for Excel files, Haven for data from other software, SAS, SPSS data. And then there's also data.table, okay, which is very good. And there's something called R fread, okay? I'm sorry, yeah, fread comes in with, I guess, data.table, and it is, it's very good, okay? Very fast for big things like, you know, gigabytes. If you get like a gigabyte of data, then that might be good, okay? If you want to download files off of the internet, okay, you can use something called Library Downloader. There's a function download.file, but as pretty much everything now uses HTTPS secure connection, the original download file function in R is no longer sufficient, and so Library Downloader allows you to download over these secure connections. Okay. And then I'll talk about this one package called Lubridate, all right? And what it does is it just makes handling date information much easier, okay? So there is, in base R, there's something called as.date, and it allows you to convert strings into dates. But it's it's very frustrating, okay? So if you have something formatted like this, where it's the 6th of August 2005, okay, you have to use this format to say %D, %B, %Y, which stands for day, month, year, and there's no spaces, and it will work. If you, over here I've got January 15th, 1999, and I need to put the spaces and the commas, and if it doesn't match exactly, it's going to fail and crash, okay? And so if you've ever tried to handle date things in R, it might have been a very frustrating exercise. Lubridate, on the other hand, it makes it a lot easier, okay? So here I'll load up Library Lubridate. I'll have my dates printed as strings, and all I have to do is I've got to just say day, month, year, and it will go, okay? You do have to specify the order, you know, day, month, year, day, because it's not always, because sometimes it's ambiguous, right? If you had the date 07, 08, 09, you know, in America, we would probably translate that as July 8th, 2009, okay? But in Europe, they would think that would be August 7th, 2009, most likely, okay? But, you know, who's to say that's not 2007, August 9th, okay? That's also possible. So you do have to specify month, day, year, or, you know, the order that they're in, and but it's very good, and it allows us to handle, you know, this type of info very quickly, okay? Whereas if we didn't use Lubridate, okay, we could convert the first string as a date like this, but, you know, if I had accidentally put in a space here, or like if there was a comma or something, it fails, okay? So it was very picky about these types of things, okay? Whereas over here, I've got the date right there, and I have the comma right here, but if I leave off the comma, you know, it fails, okay? So Lubridate, if you're gonna work with dates, you have to, not you have to, but Lubridate will make your life a lot easier. So highly recommended package anytime you're dealing with date information, okay? So these are just some useful packages for you, okay? And then the rest of today, we will take a look at this package called Arvest, okay? Arvest, I guess, play on the word harvest, and it's the idea of going out into the internet and gathering data, right? So I'm going to just take an aside and say, you know, there's a lot of high quality data sets out there, okay? So you guys should all be familiar with Kaggle, all right? And, you know, Kaggle has these big data sets that you can work with and work with these things, and and it's really great, okay? But other times, you might go to a website, okay, and this is the example that we're going to look at today, is that you might go to the website, you know, IMDb, and you might want to pull information off of their webpage, okay? And they don't have this nice little data file that you can just download, like from Kaggle, okay? And so, you know, one thing, like if you wanted to get the cast members of people in the Lego Movie, okay? So Lego Movie, great movie. If you wanted to get the cast members of the people who worked in the Lego Movie, then you know, you might be tempted to open up an Excel file, and then you would like come to the table and you would highlight all of this stuff. Is that how you do it? Okay. And then you would click copy, and then you'd come over to Excel, and then, you know, start a blank workbook, and then you'd hit paste, and then it comes in over here, and it actually worked, which is great. And then it copied the pictures, which I'm impressed by. But then it also copies all of the links, which I guess, you know, at the base level, I did highlight a link, but then it becomes like super annoying because now I've clicked that cell, and now it opens up SMILF. What? Okay. I've opened up Will Arnett's page, and I have no idea what this is, but I'm not sure what that stands for, but maybe I don't want to know. And so now I've got to do this, and I've got to say, all right, well, how do I get rid of the and this it merged all the cells here, and I've got to like unmerge it, and I don't know. Okay, and now it's a mess. All right, so this can be a frustrating experience trying to copy tables of data off of a web page. Okay. So Arvest will help us with that. Let me go back to Kaggle, and I just want to say a few things, okay? People want to know like what they should do, you know, what classes they should take to make themselves an attractive candidate for school or for jobs or things like that, okay? Classes are good and all, but I would say I strongly recommend that you start building up a portfolio of work, data analysis projects, or work that you've done, okay? And hopefully this will be things outside of a class, okay? Because it's not impressive to say, I did a project for a class, because you were required to do that project for a class. But if you say, I am so into this stuff, data science and data analysis stuff, that on my own, I was interested in this thing, and I went out and I found the data, and I did this project, and this is the analysis I came up with, that's a lot more impressive. That shows initiative, that shows creativity, that shows a lot of things that people want to see, okay? If you just say, well, I'm going through life and doing things that people tell me to do, that's not as impressive, okay? But anyway, so if you're not sure what kind of stuff you should do, you can go to Kaggle, you can click kernels, okay? And you will see projects posted in Python and R. And the thing is anybody can post a kernel on Kaggle, but not everything is good, okay? So I would sort by either most votes or something, you know, find something that seems interesting. So here's exploring survival on the Titanic, okay? And you will see what thought process goes into a data analysis, okay? And my web page has frozen on me. Okay, wait, maybe? No? Okay, and so you can see this is basically an R Markdown file that incorporates explanation, okay? Some ideas and thinking that they did, and the code that they executed to run it, okay? And so you can kind of go through and see, you know, the kind of graphics and plots and stuff. And basically, this is my encouragement, is try to produce some kind of report like this, okay? Read through some of the good reports that other people have done to get an idea of what kind of explanation and what kind of thought process goes into it. And then you can produce one, you can upload it to Kaggle, or you can publish it to your own GitHub page, GitHub thing. You should all create GitHub accounts, by the way. And you can post your stuff there. If you do GitHub, you might have to learn Jupyter because that's kind of the thing that GitHub uses. But anyway, all to say, some places have good data sets and you can make your own things, but other times getting data into R is not an easy thing, especially if you're trying to scrape it off of the web, okay? And so we have to use package rvest. All right, so let me just show you how this thing works, okay? So I'm going to tell you what I want to try to do, okay? So what I want to do is I'm going to start here at the Lego Movie, all right? I don't know, I'm a huge fan of these things, okay? So we've got the Lego Movie, and you know, there's like the Lego Batman movie, and they're making sequels for both of them, so I'm really excited. But anyway, let's say we want to start on this web page, okay? And like I want to pull out this rating, 7.8, okay? Or let's say I also want to extract the list of actors who appeared in the cast, right? And I already showed you that there's some difficulty. Like if somebody says, can you give me a list of the actors that appeared in the Lego Movie? I showed you some of the difficulty of like just doing copy and paste, right? So I highlighted this, I did copy, I went over to Excel and I pasted it, but that didn't work out so great. So like another option is to like open Notepad, which only allows plain text, okay? So you can copy and paste it into Notepad, and then you can copy it again and come over to Excel and do a blank workbook, and then paste it there, and then now you can do it, okay? So I mean, that actually worked out pretty well. But you know, this can become a tedious process, right? Like you can't just copy and paste directly and things like that. And if you have like multiple web pages that you want to go to, like let's say not just the Lego Movie, but let's say you wanted to go to Will Arnett's page and you wanted to find out like what movies is Will Arnett working on. So then you can come through here and all right, so we'll just copy down through there. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. So then, but now this gets a lot more complicated because we have text embedded in here. So if I copy, like there's a few things, right? I can try pasting it directly into Excel. And if I try that, then it looks like this and it's a mess. I don't want that. Okay. I can try copying it and pasting it into Notepad first and then coming over to Excel and pasting it into Excel. But now it's I don't know if you guys can see this. You can't. But all of the stuff from the web page, okay, where it says, you know, Lego Movie 2, Batman voice, Lego Movie, Batman, you know, and Riviera, he's Jeff in episode 2.9, episode Bloodlines, episode 210, and all of this stuff. It copies all of that text because when I highlight this, all of this stuff gets copied. So if you just want to pull out things like the Lego Movie, the titles of the projects he's working on, it's not a trivial task, okay, to just do it the standard way. So this is where using rvest comes in really handy, okay? So what rvest does is it will go through, you can load up a page into R. So let me go ahead and just clear out my environment. Okay, and so let me start off by loading library rvest, library stringer, and library data table, okay? And And in R, I'm going to say, look at this web page, okay? Go to basically the Lego Movie web page, okay? So I just take this and I say, read in the HTML here, okay? And so this creates the an object, Lego Movie, all right? And this will say it's an XML document. It's got all of this stuff in it, okay? We don't have to worry about it just yet, okay? And from here, let's say I want to extract one piece of information. And so I'm going to try to just extract this number 7.8, okay? So in order to do this, what happens is whenever you go to a web page, you can click View Page Source, and it is this huge mess of text and what we call a markup language, okay? It's HTML and CSS and JavaScript and all sorts of stuff. But all of the information that you see on this web page, including the advertisements for you know, these Showtime shows and stuff like that, they are all somewhere on this thing, okay? And so if I look for 7.8 somewhere in here, okay, it appears right here as far as the rating, 7.8 based on 295,000 user reviews and something like that, okay? So that's what we have here, okay? And this is the piece of information that I want, okay? In order to get this to work, we use this tool called the Selector Gadget, okay? So if you go to selectorgadget.com, it's this little piece of JavaScript code, okay? And all you have to actually do is you just click and you drag this link up into your browser toolbar, okay, or your bookmark bar, okay? And then when you do that, you'll get this little Selector Gadget link, and when you go to your web page and you click that link, it loads up the little JavaScript applet, and this little box shows up down here, okay? And then as you go around on the web page, it shows all these little orange boxes start floating everywhere, okay? And so what you do is you hover over the little piece of information that you want. So here I want to get this piece that says 7.8. Okay, so I'm going to click that. And as soon as I click that, a whole bunch of other stuff gets highlighted in yellow. And you'll also notice that the little applet at the bottom says span, and it says clear 557. This means if I were to use the tag span to identify things, it's going to select 557 things, which I don't want right now, okay? And basically what it's doing is inside the underlying code for the web page, there's these little things called tags, okay? And this will be like the div tag, and it's classified as title block and all of this stuff. It's going to select everything with a span tag, which is a very common thing to use in HTML. So anyway, if I click that, it's going to select 557 things. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to select one of these yellow things that I don't want, okay? And it will turn red. And basically I say I don't want this thing that says start a 7-day free trial right now, okay? So I'm going to click that, all right? And when I do that, it reduces down to 67. Okay, and now it becomes like this little hide and seek game, and you're going to find everything that's yellow that you don't want while maintaining the thing that you do want in green. Okay, so I'm going to just like click one of these, all right, and now we're down to 3, and we say, oh look, there's this little yellow thing that I don't want, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. Okay, and now we are down to 1. Okay, and this is the one piece of information, and it says in order to highlight just this piece of information, 7.8, the combination of tags you'll use is going to be strong span, okay, right down here. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that and bring that into R, okay? And so what I do is, remember earlier I read in the HTML and I stored that as Lego Movie. And so I'm going to do Lego Movie, and I'm going to pipe that into this function that says HTML nodes, okay? And basically I tell RVest to select everything that has a node, and here I paste in the tags that I use, strong span. Those are the tags that we're going to use to identify this piece of information. And so if I run Lego Movie and I pipe this into HTML nodes, we can see it returns the HTML tag, the entire thing. Span, item prop, rating value 7.8, okay? And we can see, you know, that is located right here. It pulls out this piece of information from the underlying code, okay? And so I don't want the entire tag, I just want the text that's included in there. So I can say from that, extract out the text, okay? And so then it says, okay, you have the characters 7.8, okay? And if I want to treat this as a number that I can, you know, multiply and add and do stuff with, then I will then pipe that result, that text, into as.numeric, okay? So here I've got take Lego Movie, extract out this node strong span, pull out the text, and convert that text into numeric, and I get the number 7.8, okay? And here I want to assign it. I want to assign it to the value object rating, okay? And so the only thing about pipes is whatever you pipe it into has to be a function. And so if you want to save it into an object, you have to do the assignment at the front of the command, okay? So this will just take everything and assign it into the object rating, and then I can ask what was rating. Rating is 7.8. And it's a number there. All right, is that okay? Okay, let's say I want to get the cast members of the Lego Movie, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clear out selector gadget, and we'll come along here. And so now I wanna get the all the actors here, okay? And you have to kind of be careful, and sometimes selector gadget can be frustrating in that sometimes, like if I come here, it'll highlight the entire cell, but what I really want is just the text. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna click that, and now we can see it has highlighted a whole bunch of stuff which I don't want, okay? So I'm gonna like say, well, I don't want this over here. So, and then I come over here and I select this and I say I don't want that, I don't want that, okay? And so now it says, all right, there's 16 things, and again, a little hide and seek game would go just scan through the page to make sure there's nothing yellow that you don't want, and we go, ooh, I found this little thing at the bottom. Somehow this will get highlighted. This is an advertisement for Amazon UK, and I'm gonna click that and I say I don't want that. And so in order, and then I come back here and I kind of just make sure that only the stuff I want is highlighted in yellow and green, okay? So these are the things I want. Okay, and so this will be the set of tags, hashtag titlecast, TD nth child 2A. So those are the things that we're gonna, that's the set of tags we're gonna use to highlight it, okay? And I put that into the HTML nodes, okay? So if I do Lego Movie HTML nodes, it will pull out all of those HTML tags and nodes, okay? And here I can say, well, I want just the text, okay? So if I do that, then it extracts out the text, okay? And that's good, but we also see there's a space in the front and /n, and so to further that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pipe this. So this will get put into cast. If we take a look at cast, it's got this. I can take cast and pipe that into string trim, and that's gonna remove white space, okay? And now I get exactly what I wanted, okay? Just the names of the actors and stuff. Yes, question?
Is piping cast into string trim the same thing as just writing string trim parentheses cast?
Yes, yes. I could have done string trim cast. I could have just done that. That's equivalent as well. Yeah. Okay. And I could have, alternatively, I could have just piped this at the very end here as well. Okay, because it just keeps taking everything and we're just piping it. Okay. So anyway, that will trim the white space. This comes from the library Stringer, which we will cover on Monday. But I just wanted to kind of show you why I want to trim the white space here, and I wanted to show you RVest before I did regular expressions. So I'm just using some of those things now, okay? There's other things. You don't have to just pull out the text, okay? So most of these things we've been pulling out text. But for example, if you want to extract a picture, okay, you can also do that. You can do select your gadget. We can come over here and say, you know, I don't want that, and this will extract out the images that are currently in this section of the web page, okay, and if we find these images, title overview widget. Let's just come over here. So in the source content of this thing, okay, there is, you know, we got pictures and stuff, and somewhere in here, there's, okay, well, I don't know, it's too hard to find, but the way images are put into a web page is they use an image tag, and the URL of the picture is not text, but is one of the attributes in HTML that says src, kind of the source of the image file, okay? And so you can actually pull out those attributes as well. All right, so here if I run this, it will pull out the image tag along with the source of that image, okay? And so I can tell it, you know, I just want that HTML source, attribute source, okay? And then so the poster, I get these URLs for pictures, these JPEG images, and I can then go on the internet and go to that thing, and it pulls out that image. And if I look at the other image in that area, it will be exactly what, you know, what we saw on the web page. Okay, so these are kind of the images that the web page has for these for the movie. Okay, and if you want to pull out some other thing, you can probably select it as well. And so that's what we've got. Okay, you know, if I use and you can pull out like huge amounts of text. So if I pulled out, here's the tag to get like the first user review. Okay, and so here is here's one of the reviews. If you watch the trailer and you think it's just going to be a fun stop motion animated Lego movie, you are wrong. The Lego movie is beyond fun. It's creative and it brings back a lot of childhood memories. The story was amazing. The jokes were hilarious, and they have great. I promise I didn't write this review. So anyway, that is that the? Okay, well, I guess somebody. All right, 10 stars. You know, like I said. Okay. So anyway, that's what we have. All right. So you can extract all of that stuff out. And this next part, I think, is so cool, all right? Everything is really cool, but this part is especially impressive, okay? So one is you can extract information out, and we can, let me just show you, if we went to one of the pages here, like Will Arnett, and we wanted to extract out the projects that he's working on, without getting everything else, you can select all of these things, and so by selecting one of the other things, it got rid of all of those things, but you just kind of keep selecting, and so now I think I'm getting just the titles in yellow, okay, and this looks correct. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just copy that, and I can use that to read and extract out, say, so Will's page, we will say read underscore HTML, and take his tag, okay, and then you know, pipe that into HTML underscore nodes, where we're going to pull out the tag B and A, because that is what we used, and then we can pull out the text, right? Sorry, this is getting, okay, well, not Will page, I guess this will just be like Will projects. So if I did that, it'll follow this, and okay, and it pulls out just the things we wanted. Okay, there's 250 of these things, but again, using selector gadget, we don't have that issue of trying to. Again, I think I showed you earlier. If we tried to copy and paste from the website, it would pull way too much stuff, right? There's no way to just highlight just the project titles, okay? So by being able to select using selector gadget, I'm able to just extract out the movie titles, okay? So that's really nice, right? Okay, but here's something even better, okay? Okay, here we can create, basically we can create our own browser session, okay? And so anytime you go to a web page with your internet browser, you are creating a session between your computer and the internet server. And you open up a session and you say, I want to talk to you, and they say, okay, I'll talk to you, and they feed you the content you are looking for. Okay, we can create our own session within R. Okay, we don't get to see what's happening like in the normal browser window, but we have created our own session here. Okay, so I can run HTML session, and this will return a session object, and it will say we're currently at this page, status 200. Status 200 means everything is normal. Okay. And that's what we have, right? Status 404 means page not found, okay? So I think that's the status you guys are familiar with. But status 200 means everything is normal, okay? And what I can have it do is I can say, starting at your session, okay, I can tell the session to follow a link. I can say follow a link, follow the link that says Will Arnett, okay? And when it does that, it's going to go, because we started on the Lego movie page, okay, so our session is open on this page. What it will do is it will find the link that has Will Arnett, okay? It will, our session is on this page, and it's going to follow this link, okay? And so it follows that link and it goes to this page, okay? So this is now the page for Will Arnett, and it returns status 200, okay? And so then I can then take that and read in the HTML there, okay? So if I wanted to say from Will's page, we're gonna follow the link and read in the HTML, we can do that, okay? And we would follow the link and we end up on Will's page. And then from Will's page, okay, Will Arnett's page, we could say, from Will page, pipe that into HTML nodes, okay? And pull out the tag BA, which is the tags used for the projects that they're working on. We want to extract out the text, okay? And then maybe we only want the first 10, so I'm going to just say head 10, okay? And so this will be kind of the first 10 projects that he's working on. This is, what it's doing is it's starting on the Lego movie page, it's going to follow the link that says Will Arnett, go to their page and pull out the first 10 projects in their filmography, okay? Which is pretty cool. And then I can do the same thing, and I could say, you know what? Now instead of Will Arnett, go to Elizabeth Banks, okay? So we'll say follow the link that says Elizabeth Banks, okay? We follow the link for Elizabeth Banks, and then we can say from there, go to her filmography and pull out the top 10 projects, okay, which are currently Signal Hill, Charlie's Angels, Brightburn. Yes, question?
What if on the website there's two links that say the same thing?
Yeah, if there's two links that have the same thing, Arvest will only follow the first one, okay? And so in Arvest, you can say follow the link that has this character string match, and it will follow the first link that has that thing, okay? You can also say follow link 85, and if there's 100 links on the page, it will go to the 85th one, okay? So you can do it that way, but right now there's not a way to say follow the second link that says Will Arnett, okay, which is unfortunate, but that's just a limitation of the programming right now, okay? But here we said, follow the link for Elizabeth Banks, extract out her information, and from her page, pull out, the tags BA, which are the projects she's working on, pull out the text and return back the top 10, okay? And indeed, if we go from here and we follow her link to her page and we scroll down to her filmography, this will be exactly the information that we see. Signal Hill, Charlie's Angels, Brightburn, all of that stuff, okay? So all of that information appears just like that, okay? And so with this, we can create kind of a loop that will automate this process for us, okay? So if there's a bunch of pages that you need to visit, you can do this. You don't have to keep telling it. So remember earlier, I've already extracted out the cast names, okay? So I already have the strings Will Arnett, Elizabeth Banks, Craig Berry, Allison Brie, okay? So just to kind of demonstrate this, I'm gonna just take the first 4 cast names, and we're gonna run a for loop for each name that appears in this vector, okay? So we're going to say for actor name in the vector, okay? So each time actor name will be either Will Arnett, Elizabeth Banks, Craig Berry, Allison Brie. We're going to say, starting at our session, which is currently at the Lego Movie page, follow the link for this actor name, read in the HTML, and that will be our current actors page. From the actor page, extract out the nodes, BA, then pull out the text and pull out the top 10. So this will be the top 10 projects that are currently listed in their filmography, okay? And notice, where am I storing this? Okay, earlier I created a list, an empty list called cast movies. So where is this gonna go? It's gonna go into cast movies, double bracket, actor name. What does that mean? So each actor name is going to get, so if we imagine just kind of an empty train right now, each actor name will get its own train car, okay? But then it's not just empty actor name, it's empty actor name, $movies. So within each actor gets their own train car, and within each train car, there's going to be another train, okay? And that train will have movies, and then I do it again, but this time I'm pulling out the year from the page, and they're going to get another train car called year, and then another car called name, okay? So we're creating a list of lists. The top level of the list is actors, and then within each actor is another list which will have the names of their projects, the years that they're working on, the movies, the years, and the name, okay? So that's what we've done, okay? So we say, from the actor page, extract out filmography year column, which is pulling out this column of information, 2019, 2018, because we're kind of interested, what year these projects are going on. And then in order to kind of keep track of who's who, I also just create a vector with their name repeated, okay? And so that's going to get stored in here. And so I'm going to say, do this just for the first 4 members, but I could say do it for the first 20 members or something, and it will do this automated process of following the link, gathering that information, and storing it, okay? I don't have to manually go on the browser, go to the page, find it, copy, clean it up, paste it, clean it up some more. This is an automated system to kind of scrape a bunch of information off of a website. So I'm going to go ahead and run this loop, and you can see, whoops, something happened. Oh, I didn't create the empty list first. Okay, so I got to create my empty list. Now I'll do that. Okay, so we can see it's navigating to each of these different pages. Okay, and so we only had to go through 4 pages, and it's done now. Okay, and everything is stored in cast movies. Okay, so if I ask, what is the structure of cast movies? What is it? How many things are in cast movies? 4, right? There's going to be 4. It's going to be a list of 4, and it's going to be those 4 actors. Okay, and each of those are a list of 3. Okay, so the first it's a list of 4, and at the top level we have Will Arnett, Elizabeth Banks, Craig Berry, and Alison Brie. And each of those actors has a list of 3, which will be movies, years, and name. So we've got, for Will Arnett, movies, years, name. Elizabeth Banks, movies, years, name. Craig Berry, movies, years, name, so on and so forth. Okay? So we've done that for each of the things, okay? And, we can just say, I want to look at kind of the first thing, and this will be, the 10 projects that Will Arnett's working on right now. We can see, what's Elizabeth Banks working on. We can ask, I don't know who Craig Berry is, but we can see what the stuff that, he's working on and things like that, okay? Tootin' puddles, storks at the end, things like that. All right, and so finally, the last thing I've done is I've used this one function from data.table called rbindList, which can be handy, and so this produces a data frame with where it kind of joined everybody together into one table. So we've got, for Will Arnett, there's top 10 projects right now is this, and these are the movies, and Elizabeth Banks, top 10 projects and things like that, okay? But I think this is a very powerful and great feature that Arvest is able to do, in that it is able to go to these web pages, extract out exactly what you need, and you can automate the process so that it can kind of follow all the links on a certain page and things like that. Okay, and so that is part of your homework this week. Okay, part of your homework is to go to the website Baseball Reference. Okay, and you will you'll start on the teams page, and you will just kind of follow the links for each of these 30 teams, okay? So you will do a kind of a web scraping thing. So you'll start here and you'll follow the link to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and you will extract out basically the information that's currently in this table, okay? And you'll do that, and you'll gather all of the information, which should be good. Okay, was there a question? Yes?
Is there a way that only follow links that match the information? Like, can I go to the list, for example, can I just ask this after?
Okay, yeah, all right, okay. We'll end here for today. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you then.